violence in West Bengal or political violence in some parts of Calcutta. What is your opinion, how you behave or how you tend to think such events? So they've been difficult to collect because what really matters is once you go to the field. I've been working with the number of companies, number of organizations, I would say, that do India-wide surveys, India-wide analysis. They collect data. So from my own field experience, I have seen that attitudinal data is very difficult to collect. That since a particular political violence, if it is against the party that you support, your attitude differs from the political violence if it is being meted out by the party that you support. So if you look at the political violence as a matter of concern, so attitudinal data is very difficult to gauge. Likewise, the self-reported behavioral data. That what was your actual behavior? We don't even remember what we eat last night. So psychology, I've seen psychology people experimenting or asking questions, not only psychology, but in geography, in social sciences, asking questions what you had been thinking 7 days back, or what was your thought process a month back regarding particular thing. This one beautiful example is the Gallup poll, World Gallup poll, conducted in more than 190 countries. So my organization was in charge of conducting it in India. So we used to, my experts used to question that how you feel, how you felt particular incidents a month back or 6 months back. So it is very difficult to collect and to gauge. But quite easy is to gauge the demographic and observational data, that how you observe things, good or bad, or good. So this is the with this we come to the types, that how this data, or quantitative data to be precise, can be collected. We know the instrument we use for collecting is the questionnaires or schedules. So it can be done through telephone. But if we do it, people used to do it through telephone, or not people. In fact, the Center for Monitoring Indian Economy is an organization. They used to conduct or collect data on consumption pattern through phones as well. They had this small PDA in their hands, and they used to collect through telephones. But telephones face some difficulty, that you are not aware of the person you are collecting data from. It is not that the person or this field expert who is collecting the data and had been there for long. He must be a new recruit. So you are not aware. So, but at the same time, the response rate is high because you are able to connect at the real time. Then face-to-face surveys, this is the ideal and the best thing we can get. Face-to-face, we go visit households, visit places and collect data, which we regularly do. Then we have web surveys, and we also combine methods. Some we question through telephone, some we send mail, some we do face-to-face. This mixed method is ideally correct for studies, because I think that as I have gone into field, I felt that the same questionnaire or the same concern being questioned to a household is less tiring, less cumbersome than questioning the higher authority. On the other hand, you cannot have that 20-30 questions you take it with you to, for instance, the chairman of a municipality, because he or she is not going to cooperate you for so long, because they don't have time. They are administrative people, quite busy with their work. So there, the mixed method, you tune that particular question, or for that instance, mixed method should be used, the combination of both quantitative and the qualitative. So surveys are basically these types. Also we have surveys which uh, which collect data through classrooms, in classrooms, or in meetings. So with this, we once we know the method by which we are collecting, it becomes very essential that we look at our questionnaire design as we are about to collect the quantitative data. First is the content relevance. I have seen people, or I have seen in my students, also I have done mistakes myself sometimes, that I have introduced the question on all the members of a particular house, despite my objective requiring none. My objective of my research doesn't require information on each and every family member of the household. In fact, I don't require question on family income. But as and when you ask these two questions, these are very, very basic demographic questions, but very difficult in a sense that the family member table, once you start filling up, by the time you come to your main question, the respondents they lose their interest, or they are I'm very busy, I cannot give so much responses. So even if you're required, even if it is relevant, the content is relevant, for instance, this question on members, you please ask it at the end of the question, not at the start, because you start with a good rapport. You start with asking general questions, your age and all those things, and it is important that you come directly to your point, because by the time he loses his or her energy, you have collected good number of responses. Then second is the length management. It is not at all wise to prepare a 3-page, 4-page, 6-page, 10-page question, because nobody is going to answer. As you go to the respondent, as you motivate him to give response, it is better that you keep it very short. The questionnaire needs to be very short. If you want a detailed study, I would advise, this is my personal experience, many may differ, that it is advisable that you go for interviews. If you require a lengthy debate or a lengthy talk on a particular theme, but questionnaire meant to be collected for a short period of time, meant to be collected brief information, meant to be collected information that can go through statistical analysis. Third, you should craft your question in a way that the respondent understands. I will come to one example from my own research. I'll show you the questionnaire. What I basically do is we prepare a questionnaire in English and translate each question into a local language. For instance, in West Bengal it is Bangla. In most parts of India it is Hindi. Also in some parts I have seen studies which have converted this English into Bhojpuri, which is a very interesting and very important language in Bihar and parts of eastern Uttar Pradesh. So it is very important that you craft your question, because you will find that as we go to field for collecting data, it is not the respondents who is not only looking at you but also the question, because he's curious that what is going to come next. So if you are writing in a way that he or she can comprehend, it is very important that it is very, very, very much possible that you will get good responses. Now, what is to be avoided in questions? First is the double barrel question. This is very, very disturbing for a respondent as well as the person who is conducting the field, that we ask a double barrel question. For instance, do you expect the government to lower the taxes and reduce the public good? क्या आप चाहते हैं कि गवर्नमेंट टैक्सेस लोअर करे और पब्लिक गुड्स जो फ्री में गवर्नमेंट दे रही है उस पे भी लगाम लगाए? ये तो जो क्वेश्चंस है, these two questions will confuse the respondent, because he may agree that the government should lower the taxes, which the present government has done. But at the same time, he wants the public good to be increased and should not be lowered or reduced. In that case, he gets confused. Kya bolu? Shall I say yes or no? Because for one it is yes, for the other it is no. So always avoid a double barrel question and make it two separate questions. Leading question. Oftentimes we ask questions which lead the respondent towards the answer. We ask questions ki आपको कल अच्छा लगा था? Did you like food tomorrow yesterday when this particular event happened? I don't think so. So if you say that I don't think so, it is very important. The probability of him answering that even I don't think so is higher, and your response will be negative, even if he knows that he has enjoyed a particular event. And then negatives and double negatives. These are very, very, very difficult. That if you ask that, do you not want to go to vote? Do you not want to go to vote? Do you not want to go to vote? He or the respondents become very confused that what the field expert is basically asking, whether he is asking me to go to vote or whether he doesn't want me to ask to the vote, because it is also one form of leading you towards a response. And the last one is potentially embarrassing question. That don't put your respondent in a position that embarrasses him or her. This mostly happens that if you ask certain questions which are too personal, people ask, NFHS asks, but that we need a different kind of a protocol for that. I have in our qualitative study, we also do some form of qualitative studies. While we are conducting the FDPs, focus group discussion with village women, I ask my girl students to conduct, because it is not feasible, comfortable for them, and they may feel embarrassed with certain questions, and even we restrict the household male members from that. So this also goes for questionnaires, when we avoid questions that basically embarrass them. So this is how the questions look. This is my study. My study is basically in New Barakpur city, which is part of the Kolkata metropolitan area. And this particular area, I'll give a brief introduction. This is a very beautiful history. Because this municipality of this particular area was settled only in 1940s and 50s. Before that, it was a village of agriculturalists and farmers. When people from Bangladesh, especially after 1950s, came, they came for the help or to get the help from Sri Haripada Bishwas. Haripada Bishwas was at the same time the Panchayat Pradhan. It was Union Board. It was called Union Board in the British era. So he was the Union Board member of a Barakpur in Bangladesh. At the same time, he was a very renowned officer in India Post. Not India Post, it was a telegraphic office at that time. So he held two positions. So once India got independence, he came back to Kolkata and joined his work and left that particular profile in Bangladesh. So once the riots started up in 1950s,